Oh, hello. I'm the True Wise Gamer, giving off my vast knowledge so you may understand games a bit better. For those who don't know me, here's something you should learn. I really hate Final Fantasy 13. Like, a lot. You will not find a single person who hates Final Fantasy 13 more than me.
Honestly, there is so many things to hate about Final Fantasy 13. Like, its terrible characters, where they're all stupid and insufferable. The gameplay, that's just terrible, to the point that the first two games can be literally won by just pressing one button. Or finally, the plot that's so nonsensical that to this day, no one even really knows what the heck happened in these games.
Until today. For you see, my friend, today I am beginning my epic saga of chronicling one of the worst series ever to be made, Final Fantasy 13, in its entirety. And mind you, I'm not just doing the games, I'm also going to do the books. Because let me tell you, those books are freaking required to understand the plot. Seriously, what the hell?
You see, the game's plot requires, if not demands, you read them, since they hold very, and I do mean very, crucial plot points in them that just explain things in the game that are just never explained. For example, how did Sarah get her brand? Well, it's explained in the first prequel book that was released as a web novella, then in a book that was never released until 2019. And honestly, there was no way to show off that in the game. I'm of course lying because they could have, if they cared. Or how Snow got its brand in FF13 too, when the fal'Cie stopped caring about humanity and just left them to their own devices. Well, that's actually separated into two books because fuck you, give me money. Or even what the heck was the ending of Final Fantasy 13 Free, which was released as the final piece of media for that thing, and has never been released, and the two novels I just mentioned weren't released until 2019 as well. Which is just, ugh.
And if you think those books can't be that bad, well, they are. Well, okay, that's mostly a misnomer. I'll get into that when I get to the books. But for the most part, they really are boring. And to even be fair to the books, yes, seriously, I can be fair to these games even if I hate them. They are just not as bad as Final Fantasy X 2.5 book. And that is only because of one reason. And that one reason is so simple. And I'll tell you right now, it's because they did not screw up a good series.
In fact, that book is so bad that no matter what I say here about anything about the FF13 series, just know, as much as I hate that, I hate FF10 2.5 book more, cause at least they didn't fuck up a good story. And quite frankly, that should really terrify you on how bad that is. Though in all fairness, it's not that shocking, cause I argue after 10-2 and somewhat 12, they generally stop caring about the series in a sense of it is surviving in spite of itself, and not because of it. Because if you've known anything about these games, you know they've been having a bit of an issue getting anywhere. I know that is a cynical look at this entire situation, but at the same time, that can't be helped when the company does dumb moves. But in any case, why do this now and not sometime beforehand? Well, it's mostly because I wanted to make sure that before I do the first one, I had everything covered and cleared. Cause let me tell ya, it was not easy doing this since these games, as mentioned before, cannot tell their story straightforward to the point that I cannot reasonably say that everything I see in these videos is 100% accurate, as they are only as accurate as I could find since I have to heavily rely on the wiki just to get info down just right because I have, again, no idea why these weren't just stated in the games. I mean, a lot of reviews get things wrong about the game, but the usual thing they usually get wrong are usually the things that the game never makes clear to begin with. A good example of things just not being clear is this guy. You see, a lot of people online think this guy is Anima, the fal'Cie we fought in the beginning of the game. But no, it's someone else entirely. That if you knew what this was, you would be foaming at the mouth because it fundamentally, and I cannot stress this, fundamentally breaks the plot. I cannot joke about that. That is how awful this plot point is. If you want to know who this guy is, you have to look up the wiki, Or if you're a little more patient, you can wait till the next video since I plan to talk about this guy a little more. But in any case, how am I going to handle these reviews? Well, unlike my normal stuff, I'm going to focus on the plot a lot. In fact, I'm going plot point to plot point because I really need to show step by step how bad this game is, while trying to be fair and show some of the good qualities since they do have some, they're just not that many. While I'm also doing these reviews, I'll do something to at least be a little more fair to the game cause there's not a lot to say about these games that it's just not me just trying to choke the life out of someone. Well, I'll try to add a little indicator right here on the upper left so that you can tell the type of criticism I'm giving, cause sometimes I will be honest, I am saying something out of pure spite and not actually showing what's wrong with it. But sometimes I'll just leave a little indicator there to tell you, hey, this is important, you kinda need to know this for later. And when I say real criticism, something that I think should have been addressed, I'll have a little something like needed or critical. I haven't refined it yet, but I think it'll work for the best. It'll just allow me to be more fair overall while allowing me to just let my grievance with the game out. The books I'll handle in a little weirder manner, so okay, I'll try to explain. You see, the first book is odd. See, it's mostly a prequel that is only necessary in small parts, but the vast majority of it is fluff. Fluff for stuff that will already happen in the game or stuff that will be told to us, with a little bit more detail here and there. Ironically, the stuff that is important is some of the most skimmed over areas in the book. That's just dumb. In any case, I honestly can't easily criticize the book as I'm not a book reviewer, thus it's a little harder for me to tell if something's bad in this medium. However, I did feel that it did have some problems that even anyone who's not even an avid reader can tell what's wrong with it. That being this weird oddity of its demand that you know stuff. Basically, at times it demands that you know certain terms, even though they have never explained them. Thus, these terms come out of left field, and when they are explained, it's like, why did you take so long to explain something and leave us confused? And oddly enough, anything I need to reference from the book, I'll just reference as that's only when I need to, because as I mentioned before, the book is just mostly a recap of backstory that we will learn in the game, for the most part. And even if I bothered to go through the book, which I kinda did in an original script, but I threw that out because, oh my god, it was so boring. Like, it was so boring that I actually went out of my way and did nothing else but watch the Dragon Quest ballet. Yes, it bored me that much. Actually, it's actually alright if you want to watch it. It's online, you can go see it. It's actually pretty okay. I know, right?
And with that being said, let's actually begin the process of reviewing Final Fantasy 13.